Well, unfortunately, the first video on this channel was supposed to be about me replacing the head gasket on the C220. However, there's been a slight change of plans because what happened is, as you can see, there's an issue with the ML now. So, for your information, this is an ML320 CDI. And what has happened, I will show you in a second with my other camera. Ain't this great? 40 frames per second, that's not good. Alright, so basically what's wrong is, if we can see it properly, we can't, but fortunately I'm ready for such eventualities. We have some black death. I really should put automatic focus, that would help, wouldn't it? There you go. Black death. Terrible, terrible black death. As far as I can tell, it's only a problem on cylinder 1. I tried looking, I already cleaned some of it out. I didn't remove the intake yet, which is the next step. But from what I can hear, it's actually only this cylinder that's the problem. So we are going to try and fix that. I ordered the parts in my local dealership, very cheap. Unfortunately, they were missing the clip that holds the fuel injector in place. So while that's on its way, I'm gonna clean up the junk, I guess, and figure out how to remove the intake manifold. Not the intake manifold, sorry, the air intake. Come on, focus. So I apologize for my poor videography equipment, but you know, you gotta make do with what you get. Unfortunately, the Mercedes Wiz is just as useless as always when it comes to tackling simple tasks. So what I'm going to do, and what I'm actually the best at, is improvise. So, time to remove the intake. Better get started. Yeah, that is duct tape. Part of the tube for the intake doesn't exactly stick together, so duct tape, best tool ever. Not sure if you need to remove that, but might as well.
You don't actually have to remove it. I'd actually recommend leaving it in place, because then anytime you lean over the engine bay, you have something soft to grab onto instead of a sharp plastic edge.
This is what the tripod's standing on. It's my toolbox. So I guess if I want screwdrivers, I have to move my tripod. Alright. Yeah, one of the legs is actually on a shelf. Okay, let's see this. You'll learn pretty quickly that I'm the king of ghetto. So don't get surprised if you see something that looks a little suspicious. Alright. That's good enough.
Removing the mass airflow sensor pipe is really easy. Just loosen the 3 hose clamps and carefully lift the pipe up and out.
Mass airflow sensor. If replaced, you need to replace the whole tube. You can't replace the individual sensors. Even though they're clipped on, everywhere you read, they'll tell you, oh, can't do it. This is the seal the turbo seal that commonly fails, as you can see. I've ordered a replacement. Unfortunately, it's not going to arrive soon enough, but I mean, it took me a couple minutes to take that apart, so putting in the new seal is not going to be a problem. You'll also learn that I'm the world's slowest mechanic.
And luckily I can correct that in post-processing.
If you're watching this from a technical college, a hex socket is not the right tool for the job to remove a Torx bolt. Unfortunately, because I'm lazy, I didn't get a set of Torx. So for loosely tightened Torx bolts, yeah, that's right, it'll probably do, right?
And it worked! At least it'll save you from over-tightening the bolts when you reassemble everything back together. There are two bolts holding the airbox to the engine. The first one is right at the front, you can't miss it. The second one is at the back, as you can see here. Both of these bolts have to be removed, and the airbox will lift up. However, the little piece of plastic above the second bolt catches on the firewall, but it serves no other function but to piss you off. So I went ahead and cut the plastic piece off. As it turned out, the airbox was still putting up a fight. All you need to do to get enough room to wiggle it out is remove the power steering fluid cap. One of the legs catches on it.
One side of the filter, which was surprisingly hard to get to.
Next step is to remove the foam block that covers the injectors.
HD time. Alright, by HD I mean blurry as all hell. Alright, manual focus. So give me a second here. Right, okay, well we can see that injector 1 has been completely destroyed. It's wrecked. Number 2 looks like it just got spat on from number 1. And number 3, I can't really tell if that was spitting or if it's actually leaking. So for now, I mean, I guess I'll just clean up the one that's obviously a mess, which is this one. And I'll worry about the others when the time comes to worry about them. So now it's just time to clean this mess up. Any particular solvents that I recommend? Well, carb cleaner, that'll probably work. Unfortunately, I don't have carb cleaners, so what I'm going to use is a good old little precision tool to chip all the crud off. And I'm going to use WD-40 because I think that's all I have here. So anyway, I'll figure something out, make it nice and clean. I guess the hard work's going to be harder than, I mean, the elbow grease is going to be more than what the solvent's going to change. So there you go, a shot of the black destruction. Alrighty.
Now you will have to remove as much of the black gunk as you can reach. The procedure is pretty simple. Use a flat screwdriver or precision tool to chip the crap off and then vacuum it up. Some solvents might help make the job easier, but most of the cleaning will be done through good old-fashioned hard manual labor. It is important that the area is as clean as possible, since you will have to reassemble the intake and go out for a drive afterwards. A hot engine will make injector removal much easier, and even a small amount of that black death will give you problems when it's time to remove the injector.
Alright, well, I'll stop filming for today. There's really, I mean, that's all I'm doing right now is just cleaning. You don't need to watch me clean the whole thing. I mean, luckily I'll speed it up in post-processing, but basically I'm going to clean up the area on the turbo where the swirl motor is and blah blah blah. I'm going to use this as test footage, so if something I don't like about how I'm filming, or about if my camera is not working, or there's no sound or something, then I'm gonna fix all that, so that when I work on the C220, my C220, that's right, with the ghetto-ass rims. No, they're not ghetto, they're actually pretty cool. But no, when I start working on that cylinder head, I'll know exactly what I'm doing. So, that's it for now. So there's probably going to be a couple more parts to this video. Removing the injector. I'm probably not going to grind the seat the first time around. I'm going to polish the seat, not grind it. I'm not going to cut a new seat. I'm just going to polish it, see if that works. If it doesn't, I'll have to redo the whole thing again, but it's going to be easier.
Freeze frame. Before I cut to black, I'd like to say a few things. When I recorded this voiceover, the ML had already been fixed for about a week and has been driven a few times. The repair was successful, so I'm pleased to say that the new injector seal is holding. So stay tuned for the following 2 parts to this series. My content may seem a little disorganized, but I'm learning, so I promise to keep delivering more entertaining and more informative content in the future. See you soon in the next video. Cut to black.